Am I expected to do a fucking episode about this? Okay. It was 43 years ago today that Mark David Chapman, who'd flown from Hawaii to New York City, would assassinate John Lennon by walking up to him in the combat stance and emptying his 5-shot 38 snub-nosed revolver and burying 5 shots into John Lennon's back and killing him on the floor of the Dakota hotel where he lived. It was 43 years ago. He called out to him, "Mr. Lennon," got down on one knee, and after he did that, he went back to reading The Catcher in the Rye. Yep. I'm trying to remember John Lennon today. R.I.P. John Lennon. John Winston. Oh no, Lennon. Gone 43 years ago today. Oh no. John Lennon, we just have word that John Lennon has been assassinated in New York City outside the Dakota apartment. This is Howard Cosell. Very dark day here. Remembering John Lennon. Yep. And so this is Christmas. Yeah. Isn't that like Lennon to do a sarcastic Christmas song like that back in 72? And what have you done? Make you feel guilty, put Yoko in there singing like a little witch at you. War is over, if you want it. Merry Christmas. I hope you had fun. That's the kind of Lennon snide that I adore. Let me ruin your Christmas with a sarcastic, passive-aggressive Christmas song. Yeah, you gotta have those bells. You gotta have those bells. That's a thing that Phil Spector brought to the... When you hear "Be My Baby" and you think of the Ronettes, you think of Chris. It sounds like it's snowing, doesn't it? When you... The night we met, I knew I needed you so. Sound like Christmas, doesn't it? Gotta put that shit in everything. Hal Blaine knew that. It's a Mexican thing. But you put that shit on a music track and you've got Christmas. You got instant Christmas. Put some Christmas on that. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. Tambourines and Christmas bells. That's what you do. Phil Spector knew that. Hal Blaine knew that from the Wrecking Crew. That shit even made its way into satanic music like Sam Hain, the band Sam Hain. Shit like that. We do satanic music. Let's put Christmas sleigh bells on it. It's mockery. Iggy Pop, Give Me Danger and shit like that all have Christmas bells on it. You gotta have that Christmas shit. Yes, but it was 43 years ago today. Mark David Chapman did that. No, I don't have it. It's not me. And Labatt's beer is the worst fucking... I hated Labatt's. Whenever... I used to drink everybody's beer. And whenever anybody... And I never had a job, so I drank everybody's beer. Whenever everybody would get beer, or my bass player would get beer and his friends, they'd always buy tons of Labatt's because I wouldn't drink it. I can't stand that shit. Canadian beer is the worst. It's the worst. I hate all brands of Canadian beer and beer in a green bottle. Oh, hell no. Heineken? Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon, baby. Anything. As long as it's not Canadian. Remember, and I hated Molson back... Do they still even make Molson? I think they make one brand or one kind now, but I remember that. And that's the shit you would go to Phase for. We had Phase up here in upstate New York. It was a drugstore. Everything was yellow in there. It had yellow lights. And you went into Phase and you'd get, like, Meisterbrow. Get Mr. Beer. Or you could get Old Vienna. You can get OV Splits. You could get even some offshoots. You could go into Kmart back in the day when you were really an alcoholic and get Golden Anniversary. But, remember Meisterbrow? Remember that? That was a long time ago, kids. Remember beer balls? I was such an alcoholic. I used to go to high school parties long after I was out of high school. buy the beer ball, and I was too cheap to buy the tap. I would take my hunting knife and cut through the top, and we'd all dip our cups and lose the deposit. But I was that guy that was at the bonfire parties who was much too old to be there, who didn't even have a car. Does that guy live in the woods? Who is he? He's like 25. It's kind of old to be here. He bought the beer balls in the woods. You know, that's what it was in my day. It was all about smoking Chiba, bonfires in the woods where you play Metallica's first album, you play Kill 'Em All at top volume. Sometimes your friend pass out in the woods or you get sick in the woods because you drink so much Meister Brau out of the beer ball. And it'd be on a December day like this or night. Going to the kegger tonight? I couldn't afford a keg back then. I couldn't tap one either. Well, I could tap them, but I mean, I couldn't afford the tap either. That was a lot of money. You'd bring beer balls. You'd go right into Phase and you can get yourself, there were these big brown plastic balls of beer. I forget how much was in them. Yeah, I was that guy though. The guy with the Aussie tattoo and the bleached jeans. That was me. Who had a big aluminum metal bowl with a cap on it. Cigarette burns and knife marks from playing fucking around his fingers. That was me. It was fucking John Bender. Eat my shorts. You. How do you feel about that? Do you remember those days? Where the fuck are all those people? Did they all die? I haven't heard one motherfucker talk about any of that shit on YouTube.